Well, welcome everybody. Lovely as always to be with you. Quick announcement. Our next retreat will be November 3rd through the 5th. And for those of you who struggle or feel like your energy's a little bit stuck, uh, meditation retreats are a wonderful opportunity to kind of move us along on the path, to have that experience of breakthrough where you open to something greater and you feel the energies align and you feel them integrate. And, with Kundalini awakening, our path is forward and through and with. And so retreats are a wonderful opportunity. Like we're not going to walk backward. We walk forward, opening. And, what better opportunity than to go on retreat when you have all this time and focus to be with what's here. So I do encourage you to join if you can. Okay, secondly, I recently did a course, like a teaching course with the When Lightning Strikes community. It's a Kundalini community. And so stay tuned for updates around that. I should be able to post a link sometime soon. So that's another opportunity to join and to connect more deeply with the teachings, specifically around Kundalini. Okay. All right, the thing I'd like to speak about today is grounding, the need for grounding, the necessity with grounding, and often confusion around grounding. And so one of the ways I teach grounding is very similar to channeling. But when we are a channel, basically we are open and we are a receptive conduit for grace to come into us. With grounding, it's, we normally have a conversation about grounding because we are overwhelmed with energy. There's too much energy in our body and it's making us a little bit dysregulated or unregulated, mentally, emotionally, or just physically. And so with grounding, we're doing the kind of like the opposite of channeling is we are opening and we're inviting the energy to flow out of us and into the earth. Flow out of us and into the earth. And so all the activities I'm going to share here in a moment, all of them are going to work a lot better if we have this vision that I am opening and letting this energy empty out of my system. Empty out of my system. Now, many of us, the reason we have trouble with grounding is because unconsciously we're holding all the energy in us. And so there's this funny thing that happens is when we are fearful of something, we actually attach ourselves to that thing. And we repeat the story of the fear over and over again in our mind. In a sense, like our mind holds on to the story of the fear as a reminder, like reminding yourself eternally, be scared, be scared, be scared. And as you do that, your chakras close, you grip, you contract, and that's going to keep the Kundalini stuck within you. So with grounding, the mantra must be, I'm okay, it's okay, while we are envisioning the energy pouring out of us and into the earth. So the mantra for so many people when they're overwhelmed with Kundalini is, I can't handle this. I don't like this. I want this to stop. It has to stop. I'm going crazy. Now that type of mantra is not going to help you. A mantra that will help you is, I'm okay. It's okay. It's okay. As we continue to breathe and envision the energy pouring out of you. And with any good grounding activity, like let's take, for example, just like laying down on the earth. We lay down on the earth where we're breathing in this basic truth that I am okay. And with each exhale, you're inviting all this excess energy to pour out of the palms of your hand, the tops of your head, pour out of your exhale. So out of your nose, out of your mouth, pouring out of your bottom, pouring out the bottom of your feet, pouring out the entire back body. If you're like laying flat, you see almost like your whole back just open. I used to do this thing where I would envision a zipper at the top of my head, and I would unzip all the way down to my bottom, and just imagine all this energy pouring out of my back and being received by the earth. And so laying down on the earth, to me, I think is the most basic and the most supportive activity for grounding. And if we can lay down on the physicality of the earth itself, and there's something about the earth's electromagnetic field that is very harmonizing and balancing to us. And so I encourage you to do that. But sometimes we have just so much energy in us that we need to walk, we need to move the body. And that's another form of grounding, is we can walk. And as we're walking, I used to do this thing. It's a little bit of something I was trained in with healing, where you take like your fingers and you just kind of flick them, just each of the fingers. And I would just have this vision of just flicking just little bits of stuck energy, or just little bits of energy just to pour out of my hands while I was walking. And then the same big vision I'm doing, I'm inviting all this energy to pour out the bottoms of my feet, to pour out my bottom, to flow up the spine through all 7 chakra centers and pour out the top, pour out on the exhale, pour out the palms of the hands like we're some kind of superhero, just with the energy just pouring out of our hands and just letting it flow, letting it empty, letting it release, and actually actively envisioning this energy pouring out of you. Now, for most people with grounding, again, like their biggest obstacle is the fact that they don't have faith in the Kundalini, they don't have faith in the process, and that they do have faith in their mind, which again is unconsciously holding on to the energy. And the more we fear energy, the more we contract, and then the more the energy will be stuck within us. And so then we're going to have a feeling of pressure. The people who get stuck with like this feeling of pressure are the ones who are actually unconsciously holding on to the energy. They're busy blaming the Kundalini. Kundalini is just a force of energy that's flowing. It is not trying to be pressurized within you. If there's pressure within the system, it's because we've closed one of the energetic locks on the inside of us in our subtle energetic body. And the only reason we'd close that is because of some kind of unconscious fear. And so the more we trust, the more quickly we will ground. Now, another misconception about grounding is people have this idea, okay, I have too much energy and I just need to ground for a couple minutes and then it will be done. Like it'll all come into harmony and balance. When I was really working and having to ground, there was times like in the beginning when, I could get grounded in just a couple minutes. Like, I'd go see my teacher and we'd meditate for 3 hours. And sometimes like he would just, he'd send me off on my day. But like before I left, he'd say, hey, Craig, let me put you to work in the garden. And I'd go out there and work for a half hour or 2 or whatever. And I get grounded. I just channel that energy into the earth. And then I drive home, no problem. And so sometimes I could do it with, 5 minutes, just getting rooted, getting grounded. When my Kundalini really woke up, though, like when it fully woke up, it took me years. And I want everyone to hear this. Years for this energy to fully ground and integrate. And so sometimes we have this idea, it's like we'll just take a couple grounding breaths, and you may be at a point in your journey where you need a couple years. And that's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because the energy of the Big Bang is exploding open in your consciousness. And during, those years of grounding, it's like the Kundalini is working on you And it's transforming you, transforming the very fabric of your body, the very fabric of your consciousness. And that takes some time. And so I like to think of it as like going to graduate school. If you go to graduate school, just think, like 2 to 5 years, maybe 7 years. And so like, that's how it was with me. I had tremendous energy. And so, just actually right down the street from me right now there was this big willow tree that I used to lay in was my old backyard. And I just lay under that tree and let the tree hold me, the earth hold me, the sky hold me, the clouds hold me, and gently envisioning like all this energy pouring out of my body into the earth and simultaneously becoming harmonized and integrated. Okay. The other thing that's really helpful with grounding is jumping into water. And I mean that literally, whether it's a pool, a lake, the ocean. And there's something about like literally jumping into water where you're expelling some energy, and then like going for a swim or going for a dunk, going for a soak, and just letting this water wash over you, very much like the way, an adult would be baptized. Like with little babies, they just dunk the head. But as an adult, like your whole body is dunked with a baptism. And there's just something that's so healing, so grounding. And the water has the opportunity to wash, to clear you of this excess energy. So any type of getting into water and even a shower can be very helpful. And again, all these are more powerful if we hold on to this vision. Like if I take a shower, if I have too much energy, I'm just envisioning the water bringing a sense of balance and harmony and washing away any resistance. Okay. The next thing that's very supportive is, again, some level of work and or some level of exercise. So, physical work. Like sometimes if we just send emails all day, like we're just working in a real mental way, and it actually doesn't help us to get grounded at all. But if we can work in the soil, if we can work, on a farm or in a garden, if we can pull weeds, rake leaves, chop wood, carry water, anything where we're working physically can be quite helpful. And, walking is a very similar thing, as we're just out moving the body and just letting this energy empty out of us into the earth. The same way with weeding or pushing a wheelbarrow, and I know some of us live in cities, and so it's like, it can be hard, but, we can always walk. We can always walk. If you live in New York, maybe it's going to Central Park, and so exercising, jogging, these types of things can be helpful. Sometimes, though, there are some exercises that actually exacerbate the energy. And so we want to be careful of those, and your energy will tell you right away. So yoga can be great, but pranayama actually excites and exacerbates the energy. So I don't recommend that. Okay. The big question, that I encourage you to ask yourself while you're working with grounding, like if you want to speed things up, if you want things to be more efficient, it's just this basic question you're asking to the Kundalini and to your body and to God. How can I cooperate? So you can ask God, like, how can I cooperate more fully with your grace? And you may hear the silent voice of God speak to you. You can ask the same thing, of course, of Kundalini. Now with your body, when we ask, how can I cooperate? Oftentimes we look and see, where am I resisting? Where am I resisting? And so right now I thought we could just play this game of, we could all just close our eyes. And if you're laying down, beautiful. If you're seated, that's okay as well. But I just want you to feel into your body and to feel your energy. Feel how the energy is flowing throughout you. For some of you, you may notice it's not flowing. It's stuck. It has a point of pressure, in the third eye or the throat or the heart, the hara. the root. And we're just asking this energy, how could I cooperate more fully? What is it that you need? What are you wanting of me? And just noticing what the Kundalini says, what the energy says to you, what it shows you. And it might show you the little vision, or a word or two. And just inviting the intelligence of Kundalini, the intelligence of God, to speak to you and to show you how you can relax, how you can let go more fully, how you can receive what's here. Maybe something that needs to change or shift about your life. And so we're just feeling inwardly and just noticing, is this energy balanced within me? Is it flowing right through the center, bringing forth a quality of spaciousness and freedom and bliss? Or is there something else here? We can bring our body into the conversation, just asking our body, the physical consciousness, what do you need so that you can open and more fully receive this energy? Does our body need to open? Does it need to trust? Does it need to surrender? Is there a very unconscious part of us that is fighting with the energy? And can we relax this? And so again, just taking a moment here and really feeling into the consciousness of the body, letting the body show you where the points of tension are, where we are holding. And I invite each of you not just to look in the head, like that's where a lot of us look, to look perhaps some places where we don't normally look. Look in the back body and the lower half of the body. Like sometimes we hold things really intensely in our sacrum, behind the heart, or in our hamstrings, as we hold things in the palms of our hands, like just like a gripping, or in our wrists, our elbows, our joints. And just seeing if there's a way you can soothe the body more fully so it can relax. And by all means, if you have too much energy, if the energy feels out of balance, I invite you to see your entire energetic body ripped wide open so that the energy can flow unencumbered, unrestricted, unlimited. So it can flow, so it can empty, so it can release out of you. And I invite you to send it into the earth so it pours out of you. Again, out your bottom, out the top of your head, out the exhale, the bottoms of your feet, out the back body. So it pours out of you. Just seeing the earth happily receiving this energy. Sometimes our body is not so happy with all this Kundalini Shakti. And so we invite the earth to receive the excess energy. And you can even play around with seeing your consciousness was descending into the earth, growing and expanding into the earth and as the earth. So to envision yourself not as just a little human being stuck in a body, but as a human being who has merged into the earth and has become the earth. And with that, seeing that there's lots of room, lots of space, a tremendous amount of resource in the earth, of strength, of power, of spaciousness, of vastness, of depth, to receive all this energy. And so we're just playing this very basic meditation of opening and listening and letting whatever is here that wants to empty, all the while being held by the hugeness of the earth, the divinity of the earth, the strength and the power of the earth. The mistake most of us make on this path is we think we have to do this path alone. We think we have to walk this path following or using the strength of our egoic will. And the awakening that comes with Kundalini is the recognition that you are the earth. You are the earth. And therefore you have the strength of the earth, the power of the earth, the support of the earth. You are the earth. You are creation. With any true grounding exercise, we're not just doing something to manage energy, to get rid of energy. We ground ourselves into the earth and become the hugeness of the earth, the hugeness of creation. This recognition that you are made in the image and likeness of God. You are creation. God is creation, one and the same. And as we begin to awaken to this truth, we realize, oh, I don't need to fight with energy. For I am energy. I am the earth. I am the ground. I am the sky. And so letting yourself melt and merge into the hugeness of what you are. So fully and completely that there is no longer any resistance. And so again, as we feel just throughout the nervous system, throughout the subtle energetic body, through the chakras, again we ask, what is it I need to see, hear, release, let go, empty? What's here that is wanting to move and flow? And am I fully willing to merge into the hugeness of creation itself? The hugeness of creation. To allow creation to move through me and as me. through me and as me. Through me and as me. And so with this, we take a couple more deep, full breaths. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we begin to see that most people, they teach grounding as a way to manage energy. But anytime we're just managing our energy or managing our experience, we come from this perspective that my ego's in charge and my ego can manage. The whole purpose of Kundalini is to wake you up beyond that managerial complex in the center of our head that thinks it knows what I should and should not do, what is good, what is bad. We're opening beyond that into the recognition that I am life itself. I am creation. That I am divine. Not in this little individual form. The realization of Kundalini is God becoming manifest throughout all creation. It's a kind of a big deal when this thing starts to open in you. And we don't want to walk the path in a way where we're always managing or micromanaging the energy. Ultimately, we want to surrender and become the hugeness. The hugeness of this divinity that we are. That's the gift of Kundalini. And so through the very, very simple and basic process of grounding, you eventually shift into the recognition that you are the ground. You are the light and you are the ground. It's a lot different than I need to manage this energy because I can't handle it. And I want to get my old life back. God is wanting to give you a radically new life. Where you are, you know yourself as life itself.